Hi guys, Mamaki again. Want to talk about survival instinct again, to talk about the source of your income and codependency. How much are we codependent on the source of income? How do we view authority? How do we view our employer if you're employed? How do we view, or have you got a relationship with whoever you're getting that source of income from? It could be family. Why is that family support necessary even at a stage in your life where you feel quite independent? Or are we struggling with independence at the moment? Is it that we're still unable to break away from the nest? So even the way that we relate to the source of our income, where we're getting it from, will reflect on where we are in terms of codependency, in terms of how independent we are, how authentic we are. Two scenarios. In one scenario, you have your independent source of income because where it's coming from is your value that you're adding back, and you're receiving an energetic exchange for that. And you're also receiving other sources of income, including perhaps a little bit of a gift from your family from time to time. That scenario, pretty normal, pretty okay. It means that you're very tuned in to gratitude, you're very tuned into support, and it comes to you, support comes to you. Now what happens on the other side of the coin when you haven't quite found your feet yet? Maybe you're going through a career change, or it's always been the case that your family have always topped you up, or have always topped your income. Are you then in tune with abundance so that you say that I'm always receiving? Is that always receiving? Or are you still codependent? Does that make sense? Very, very fine line here. How you know this is how you feel about this source of income. Are there any strings attached to this? How do you feel when you receive it? How does your family behave? If you were then to set up your own independent venture and do something of yourself, would you still want this to carry on? And if it does carry on, are we going to depend on it? So again, how dependent are we on this external source of income that comes from a source that is related to you? Are you dependent on the source? So if it is your father, if it is your mother, if it is a friend, if it is a grandparent, anybody, how dependent are you on them? Do you still seek approval from them even when you're at a stage when you don't want to? Do you feel quite resentful because you're having to still do that? Are you struggling even knowing that they may not need to give you the approval, but you still go back because you're too scared to make your own decisions? You're too scared. You lack the confidence to go out there, do your own thing, and prove it to yourself, or prove it, you don't even have to prove anything, but that you just overcome your fear when we procrastinate. So is codependency on a source of income as comfortable as our parents, or as comfortable as those that we know are always going to be there for us, another way of procrastination? Is it another way of us not facing our fear and not facing the anxiety, or the source of our anxiety? What makes us so anxious? What makes us not feel like want to go and take that step is fear. Will I be accepted? Am I going to be rejected? So there is that as well. And when we have something like that, it will trickle into relationships. It will trickle into a lot of aspects of our lives, because whatever trait or whatever way that we have come to be will seep into other areas. Are we always dependent on this extra source of income that's coming from somewhere, or is that our only source of income? What happens when you realize I want to step away from that and I want to become my independent person. It doesn't necessarily come out from suddenly setting up your own business or suddenly becoming your own person in terms of becoming self-employed. But there will be a shift inside of you that causes for you to be that way. Sometimes it could be as a result of not wanting an association or wanting to be your own person, or you're just you're healing your codependency. You're coming to understand your attachment style. You're coming to understand how you came to be codependent. What is it that makes you emotionally codependent? What is it that in you that makes you feel you need to be validated? What in you makes you feel insecure, inadequate, and that you're simply not enough? Once again, walk with me, get through to your timelines. And then when you cure your codependency, you might find that associations or any sources of income that had that flavor of codependency will automatically just fall away. So to develop a relationship with money healthily is to develop a relationship with yourself, is to get to know yourself, get to know who you are. Are you constantly spending, or do we save it? Do we want to see our money grow, or is it just back to back every month? Those habits again feed into how we feel about ourselves and how emotionally independent we are. Where are we acting from a place of emotion, because emotion changes, or are we acting from a place of consciousness? Consciousness is pretty static, but it does evolve as well. Perhaps not as quick as emotions do, at a slower rate, but it's there. Working from consciousness will give you the opportunity, or it'll give you the gap that you need to respond rather than react to whatever situation that you have. So if you have a money source and you're unable to let go of that money source, or that you want to break away from it because of other associations, go back again and understand whether you are codependent. Do you struggle with stepping into your own? Are you suffering from low self-esteem? What is it that is keeping you away from shining in your magnificence, shining that light that we share? Okay, because everybody has something about themselves that's unique, that is magnificent, that is excellent. It will have the markings of greatness if you can only allow yourself to shine in that light, and that light, that is you, that love, that is you. So ask yourself whether you're still codependent, and if not, what's stopping you from walking your walk?